broadleaf or large leaf maple wood. We're going to turn this into a table for our lagoon mount, and we're going to go ahead and start by cleaning this up a little bit and prepare it so that we can pour our epoxy in the middle, and then we'll finish it off. So let's go ahead and begin the process. Next, we're taping up this sheet of melamine laminate wood, and then we're going to cut these boards and box in the area that we want to go ahead and put the table in so that we can do our pour. The tie-back tape is to keep things from leaking out and sticking. Very important. Now tie that tape. And now we're drilling in some holes using a drill jig, so we don't have to move the board. We don't have to screw from underneath. These run about 20 bucks at Home Depot or Lowe's. We're using a glue gun, hot glue gun, to glue the edges so we don't have the epoxy leak out when we pour it. Clamping down some pieces of wood on there so that the wood doesn't float up. We're just going to pour a little bit, and so that the rocks and our little critters down here will all be able to be fused in there for the first thin pour, and then because you don't want them to float to the top. So that's why we're not pouring it all in one shot. Two-part epoxy here, Epoxy, and what's nice about this product is you could make a big pour versus other epoxies. If you make a big pour, it's going to get too hot, and you don't want to do that. So this Epoxy is pretty good stuff. A friend uses this. Okay, this is a 2-to-1 mixture, so we're going to use 2 parts of the large and 1 part of the hardener. But we're just going to mix a small amount to start with. Before we pour in, we're going to go ahead and try to fill some of these smaller holes because they're going to take up some, and we're going to try to bring those somewhat level, get the air out, and then we'll go ahead and continue mixing some color in. But right now we're just going to use some clear. Just try to fill some of these little holes here. See how much they take. dropped a little bit of blue in there. And a little bit of blue bling bling, as we call it. We're gonna mix it up really good. It's more clear than blue. We're just trying to go ahead and set a little bit down in here so that everything can go ahead and dry so it doesn't float to the top. More blue color. We don't want to cover the rocks with the blue. They'll all settle down. But we want to add a little bit of color for the bottom because we don't want to really see through this. Here we're using a heat gun to blow out any air bubbles. You helping? Some people use a propane torch, but I think a heat gun is better. You can regulate it more, plus you're not going to burn the wood. And the next step here is to clamp it down so the wood doesn't float up. We just have a little bit in, but it still is floating there a little bit, so just clamp down just a little bit, not really tight. Okay, we're mixing our 2 to 1 for a big pour. Gonna mix this one for probably about 5 minutes. We'll add some color and go from there. Looking really cool. Going to get all the air bubbles out of here. We'll do another pour here in a couple of days over the top. Bring that level up. Well, we've got just a little bit of tackiness here. You can see your fingerprint. So we're ready to pour the last layer over top, and that'll cover the rest of this wood and any imperfections that came out from before. We're going to use a clear coat. We're not going to use any color. We have a razor blade. We're going around here and just popping any bubbles that are sitting right on top. So when we go to do the next pour, it'll fill in. going to take off the forms now for the tables. Phoebe's going to use the screwdriver. Take them off. Go ahead, Phoebe. Take them off. Good girl. This one here.
Yeah. Oh, that's easy.
Got a little glue on it. Boy, that's pretty nice. Okay, now for the bottom, I'm going to hit around the edges, so hopefully the vibrations will cut it loose. Oh yeah, look at that. See-through. On the table edges, because they have a little bit of ridge on them. But I'm not going to sand the whole table. But I will pick up some probably about a 2,000 grit sandpaper, and then some polishing compound just to do the edges. It's coming along pretty nice. We just finished polishing the corners and the sides with the 500, 1,000, 2,000, and then 4,000. And now we're going to use the cleaner polish with the buffing, nice soft buffing. Well, we finished the table in the van and got it installed. It looks pretty nice. If you want to see the way we did the rest of the van conversion, hit the subscribe button and then ring the bell and you'll be notified when we post our next video. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Y'all stay safe and we'll see you next time on Alaska Adventures.